In a city where the streets pulsed with energy and neon lights flickered like fireflies on a summer night, Elliot Perkins was the kind of guy who could trip over his own shoelaces while standing still. At 33, he had mastered the art of social awkwardness, finding solace in the glow of his computer screen rather than the chaos of human interaction. On this particular evening, he was set to unveil his latest tech innovation, an emotional avatar designed to revolutionize human connection. "Elliot, you ready?" called out Miranda, his sharp-tongued colleague, from across the lab. "Of course. Just give me a second, my avatar is, preparing." He winced, fiddling with the controls, his fingers a blur as he tried to straighten out a series of glitches. The avatar flickered to life, a hyper-enthusiastic version of himself, complete with an over-the-top grin and wild gestures. Elliot had hoped for cool and composed, but what materialized was an emotionally unstable version of him that resembled a poorly programmed carnival ride. "Welcome, everyone. Let's feel those feelings," the avatar shouted, arms waving like a conductor who'd just lost the plot. The room erupted in laughter. Elliot's face turned crimson as the avatar proceeded to reenact a dramatic breakup, complete with weeping and an unceremonious exit. "This wasn't what I intended," he stammered, sinking into his seat. Miranda leaned in, her eyes gleaming with mischief. "Great job, Elliot. You just made everyone's night." Defeated, Elliot slumped back in his chair, drowning in a sea of mortification. That's when a notification flashed on his screen: "Join Heart Sync. Connect with an emotional soulmate through your avatar." "What the heck?" he murmured, his curiosity piqued despite himself. The description promised a shared experience of feelings, joy, sadness, even nostalgia, through a virtual avatar. Lonely and desperate for connection, he clicked the link, not fully grasping the rabbit hole he was about to tumble down. The next day, Elliot found himself in his cramped apartment, setting up for his first HeartSync session. The room was littered with empty takeout containers, a testament to his hermit lifestyle. "Here goes nothing," he muttered as he donned the headset, feeling like a gladiator stepping into an arena. In a burst of pixels and color, he was transported into a vibrant virtual world. His avatar appeared, still a bit too peppy, but at least it didn't look like it was having a midlife crisis. Across from him, a radiant figure materialized, Maya, an exuberant avatar with a swirl of colors for hair and a personality that practically sparkled. "Hey there." Maya chirped, her voice as bright as her appearance. "I'm so excited to connect. Let's dive into our emotions." Elliot blinked. Sure. I guess." Their first session unfolded like a bizarre dream. They raced through a landscape made of candy clouds and waterfalls of laughter, jumping from one emotional scenario to another. Elliot struggled to keep up with Maya's enthusiasm, feeling like he was trying to run a marathon with a bag of potatoes strapped to his back. "Let's explore joy," Maya suggested, and suddenly they were atop a mountain made of whipped cream. "Feel that? The exhilaration of conquering the peak." Elliot couldn't help but chuckle. "I feel sticky." "Exactly. That's the beauty of it," she laughed, and the whipped cream began to slide down the mountain, causing both avatars to slip and tumble. Oops. It's a slippery slope of happiness. Elliot found himself laughing, a genuine, unforced laugh that he hadn't felt in ages. The humor and absurdity of the situation melted some of his anxiety, and he began to realize that maybe this connection was exactly what he needed. As their sessions continued, Elliot found himself more and more comfortable with Maya. Each exploration unearthed new layers of emotion. They tackled nostalgia by creating a virtual playground filled with items from their childhood, like giant teddy bears and slide guitars, while discussing bittersweet memories. Elliot reminisced about the time he tried to impress a crush by baking cookies, only to burn them to a crisp, "Hey, at least you tried." Maya grinned, tossing a pixelated cookie in his direction that promptly exploded into confetti, but as he basked in the joy of these connections, Elliot also discovered a side of Maya that was tinged with melancholy. During one session, while exploring sadness, her vibrant aura dimmed. "I use this to escape," she confessed, her voice softer than the playful tone he was used to. "It's easier to feel things here than to face what's out there." Elliot's heart sank. He realized that behind the vibrant avatar lay a real person, Jasper, an artist battling his own loneliness. The more they shared, the more he found himself invested in this emotional journey, captivated by the depth of connection they had built. Then came the day of reckoning. A glitch in the heart-sync system threatened to erase all connections. Elliot received a frantic message during a session: "Connection lost in 3, 2, 1, no, no, no," he shouted, panic surging through him. The colorful world around them began to shatter into fragments. "What do I do?" "Stay calm. We can fix this." Maya, Jasper said, though the worry in his voice was palpable. In the midst of the chaos, Elliot's panic morphed into determination. "We've shared so much. I can't lose you," he exclaimed, grasping the sides of his headset like a lifeline. "Let's tap into those emotions we explored together," Jasper urged. "Remember joy, remember laughter. Focus on what we've built." Elliot closed his eyes, drawing on their shared experiences. They had journeyed through laughter and nostalgia, faced fears and vulnerabilities together. In a rush, he remembered the sweetness of their virtual playground, the hilarious mishaps, and the moments of true connection. "Let's do this!" Elliot shouted, and with a sudden surge of emotion, he reached out for Jasper. Their avatars collided, merging in a swirl of color and light. With a jolt, the world around them stabilized, pixels snapping back into place. They were safe, but the relief was fleeting. Elliot's heart sank at the thought of returning to his lonely life. "Jasper, I need to talk to you," Elliot said, struggling to voice his feelings. "What is it?" Jasper's vibrant avatar seemed to dim slightly, as if sensing the weight of the moment. Elliot took a breath. "I can't just connect with you here and then go back to being alone. I've changed. I want to meet you, for real." Silence hung between them, thick and charged. Finally, Jasper's avatar flickered back to life, a bright smile breaking through. "I'd like that. Let's not just be avatars." Elliot felt a rush of hope, but doubt still clawed at him. "But what if I mess it up? What if it's not the same?" "Life is messy, Elliot. But that's part of the journey," Jasper replied, his voice reassuring. "Let's figure it out together." The next few days were a whirlwind of anticipation and anxiety. Elliot worked up the courage to meet Jasper in real life, his heart racing with every text exchanged. Finally, they settled on a coffee shop, a cozy nook filled with mismatched chairs and the smell of freshly brewed coffee. Elliot arrived early, his palms sweaty and his stomach a battleground of butterflies. When the door swung open, he held his breath. In walked Jasper, tall, with a warm smile and an artistic air about him. "Elliot," he said, scanning the room. "Hey!" Elliot squeaked, waving awkwardly. They locked eyes, and a rush of familiarity washed over them, as if they'd known each other forever. They settled into a corner booth, the chatter of the cafe fading into the background. "So, how's it feel to finally meet in 3D?" Jasper grinned, a playful glint in his eyes. Elliot chuckled nervously. "A bit surreal, honestly. You're not just a swirl of pixels. Neither are you." Jasper teased, and Elliot felt his tension ease. Their conversation flowed effortlessly, peppered with laughter and shared stories. They reminisced about their virtual adventures, each retelling bringing more humor and warmth. Elliot felt himself relax, the initial awkwardness fading into genuine connection. As they talked, Elliot found himself captivated not just by Jasper's vibrant personality but also by the depth of his creativity. He could see the passion that fueled his art, the way he viewed the world through a lens of color and emotion. It was exhilarating. But then came a moment that halted their laughter, a brief silence as they locked eyes. "I want you to know," Jasper said softly, "the Heart Sync program helped me face some hard truths. I'm not perfect." "Who is?" Elliot replied, feeling a surge of bravery. "I'm still figuring things out, too." "Then let's figure it out together," Jasper suggested, his voice filled with warmth. Elliot's heart raced. "I'd like that." Their connection deepened as they continued to meet, each encounter a blend of laughter, vulnerability, and genuine discovery. Elliot embraced the messiness of life, learning to navigate the ups and downs with Jasper by his side. Weeks passed, and Elliot's world transformed. No longer was he just the socially awkward techie, he was someone who felt alive, who dared to connect and explore the intricacies of human emotion. With every shared experience, they painted their lives in bold, beautiful strokes, turning the mundane into something magical. One evening, as they walked through the park, leaves crunching underfoot, Elliot turned to Jasper. "You know, I think I'm finally ready to face my emotions without the avatar." Jasper smiled, a proud glint in his eyes. "That's what it's all about." As they strolled beneath a canopy of twinkling stars, Elliot felt a warmth spread through him. He realized that while technology could facilitate connections, it was the real, messy, beautiful moments that truly mattered. "Hey, you want to try something?" Jasper asked, pulling out a small sketchbook. "What's that?" "Let's create a memory together. Right here, right now." Elliot's eyes widened in surprise. "You mean, like, draw?" "Exactly. No avatars, just us. Let's capture this moment." With a hesitant smile, Elliot took the pencil, and together they sketched their surroundings, their laughter filling the night air. The stars above seemed to twinkle in approval, and for the first time, Elliot felt a sense of belonging that transcended the digital world. As the night wore on, they captured their emotions on paper, each stroke a testament to their journey, a journey of connection, of laughter, of facing the messiness of life together. And in that moment, Elliot knew he had found something real and enduring, a friendship that thrived beyond the pixels and screens, rooted in the very essence of what it meant to be human. As they finished their drawing, Elliot looked at Jasper, his heart full. "Thanks for being my emotional soulmate. I'm glad I took the leap." "Me too, Elliot. Here's to many more adventures, both virtual and real." And as they stepped back into the bustling world, side by side, Elliot felt a renewed sense of hope. Life was unpredictable, but with Jasper, he was ready to embrace whatever came next. As Elliot and Jasper strolled through the park, the evening air buzzed with energy, filled with the chatter of couples and the rustling of leaves. Elliot glanced at the sketch they had created together, two avatars standing side by side against a backdrop of swirling stars. It wasn't just a drawing, it was a symbol of their newfound connection, a blend of their personalities captured on paper. "Do you think we could make this a regular thing?" Elliot asked, half hopeful, half nervous. I mean, drawing together, exploring new places, just being us? Jasper's eyes lit up. Absolutely. There's a whole world out there to discover. We could go to art exhibits, concerts, or even just try new coffee shops. The possibilities are endless. Elliot felt a thrill of excitement. It was exhilarating to think that their relationship was evolving beyond the confines of a screen. They had transformed from virtual avatars to real-life friends, no filters, no glitches. As they walked, they stumbled upon a small outdoor market, filled with local vendors selling handmade crafts, fresh produce, and street food that wafted enticing aromas into the night. Let's check it out, Jasper exclaimed, pulling Elliot toward a stall that displayed vibrant paintings and intricate pottery. Elliot marveled at the variety of colors and textures. This is incredible, he said, picking up a small ceramic piece shaped like a bird. It's so whimsical. Jasper leaned in, examining it closely. I love how it captures movement. It reminds me of the way you let loose during our sessions. Elliot chuckled, his cheeks warming at the memory of their wild emotional adventures. If only I could do that in real life without making a fool of myself. Hey, it's okay to be a little goofy sometimes. That's where the magic happens. Jasper smiled, nudging Elliot playfully. Embrace the messiness, remember? Right, the messiness, Elliot echoed, feeling a wave of comfort in Jasper's words. He found it easy to be himself around him, as if the anxiety that typically clouded his interactions had lifted. They wandered from stall to stall, trying samples of artisan cheese and freshly baked pastries, laughing and teasing each other as they went. Eventually, they reached a booth selling handmade jewelry. An elderly woman behind the counter smiled warmly at them. Welcome, dears. Feel free to try on anything you like. Jasper picked up a delicate silver bracelet adorned with tiny charms. This one looks like it was made for you, he said, handing it to Elliot. Elliot hesitated, staring at the shiny piece. I don't usually wear jewelry. I mean, what if it doesn't suit me? Just try it on. It's not a commitment, just a fun experiment. With a resigned grin, Elliot slipped the bracelet onto his wrist. He glanced at the reflection in a nearby mirror, surprised at how it glinted against his skin. Okay, maybe it's not terrible, he admitted. Jasper leaned closer, tilting his head. See? You look great. Just think of it as a reminder of our adventures. Elliot's heart swelled at the sentiment. All right, I'll take it, he said to the woman, who beamed as she wrapped the bracelet in soft tissue paper. Thank you. It will look lovely on you, she said, her voice like warm honey. As they continued exploring, Elliot realized he was genuinely enjoying himself, something he hadn't felt in a long time. The laughter, the little moments of connection, they were weaving a tapestry of experiences that brought color to his life. Later, they found a cozy spot on a bench, munching on candied nuts while watching street performers. A juggler entertained a small crowd, tossing flaming torches high into the air. Elliot felt a sense of awe. The sheer bravery of the performer mirrored the courage he was trying to summon in his own life. Do you ever wish you could just dive into something without fear? Elliot mused, his gaze fixed on the juggler. Every day, Jasper replied, his voice thoughtful. But then I remind myself that it's okay to be scared. It means we care about what we're doing. It's part of the journey. Elliot nodded, the warmth of Jasper's words sinking in. You're right. I guess I've spent too long hiding behind my screens, avoiding anything that felt risky. Jasper shot him a sideways glance, a playful smirk on his lips. "Well, if you want to keep stepping out of your comfort zone, I have a challenge for you." "Oh? What kind of challenge?" Elliot asked, intrigued. "Let's take a spontaneous art class together. I know a place that offers drop-in sessions. It'll be fun, and I promise to be your artistic cheerleader." Elliot's stomach twisted with apprehension. "Art class? You mean, with real people? What if I make a mess?" "Then we'll make a mess together." Jasper laughed, the sound light and infectious. "Embrace the messiness, remember?" A smile broke through Elliot's initial hesitation. "Okay, let's do it. I'm in." The next weekend, they arrived at the art studio, a cozy space filled with easels, paint splatters on the floor, and the rich scent of turpentine. A small group of people milled about, chatting and laughing as they prepared for the class. Elliot's heart raced, a mix of excitement and nerves swirling inside him. "See? Look at all these people," Jasper said, nudging him. "Just a bunch of art lovers. We're going to have a blast." As the instructor began to explain the basics of color mixing, Elliot felt a wave of anxiety wash over him. He could already picture himself fumbling with the brush, making a fool of himself in front of everyone. But then he caught Jasper's encouraging smile from across the room, and something inside him shifted. With each stroke of the brush, Elliot immersed himself in the vibrant colors. They experimented with abstract shapes, letting their creativity flow without judgment. Jasper's laughter echoed beside him as they engaged in a playful competition to create the most ridiculous piece of art. "Look at mine!" Elliot exclaimed, holding up a canvas filled with swirls of blue and orange that looked like a psychedelic storm. "It's, definitely something." Jasper squinted, trying to stifle a laugh. "It's a masterpiece. Truly avant-garde." "Really?" Elliot grinned, the tension easing from his shoulders. "Yours is way better. You actually made something that looks like a sunset." "Just wait until I add the unicorns," Jasper quipped, reaching for a bright pink paint. As the class continued, Elliot lost himself in the joy of creation, the laughter between them filling the air. He found himself painting with abandon, no longer worried about perfection. By the end of the session, they had each created something unique, an explosion of colors and emotions on canvas. "Look at us. We survived our first art class," Jasper said, high-fiving Elliot. Elliot beamed, feeling an overwhelming sense of accomplishment. "Thanks for pushing me out of my comfort zone." "Anytime. I'm your personal cheerleader, remember?" Jasper replied, a glint of mischief in his eyes. Next challenge, karaoke. "Whoa, slow down. One messy adventure at a time." Elliot laughed, his heart racing at the thought. As they packed up their supplies, Elliot couldn't help but reflect on how far he had come since their first heart-sync session. He felt lighter, unburdened by the weight of his insecurities. The world seemed full of possibilities, and with Jasper by his side, he was ready to embrace whatever came next. Over the following weeks, their adventures continued. They explored art exhibits, attended outdoor concerts, and even tried their hand at pottery, their laughter echoing in the small studio as they created more masterpieces. Elliot found himself thriving in the messiness of life, each experience adding a new layer of color to his existence. Yet, amid the excitement, Elliot began to feel a deeper connection with Jasper, something that transcended friendship. Their shared moments felt electric, filled with unspoken words and lingering glances. Each time their hands brushed, a spark ignited, and Elliot found himself grappling with feelings he hadn't anticipated. One evening, as they strolled along the river, the setting sun casting a warm glow over the water. Elliot's heart raced with anticipation. "Jasper," he started, his voice barely above a whisper, "can we talk about something?" Jasper turned to him, his expression curious. "Sure, what's on your mind?" Elliot hesitated, his thoughts swirling like the leaves dancing in the breeze. "I've been thinking about us. About how much our connection means to me." Jasper's gaze softened, and Elliot felt a rush of hope. "Me too," he admitted, stepping closer. "I've never felt this way about anyone before." "Neither have I," Jasper replied, his voice steady. "I've been hesitant to say anything because I didn't want to ruin what we have. But I care about you, Elliot. A lot." Elliot's heart soared, the weight of his uncertainty lifting. "I care about you too. I want to explore this, whatever this is." "Then let's explore it together," Jasper said, a smile breaking across his face. "Let's embrace the messiness, just like we have been." As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of pink and purple, Elliot felt a sense of clarity wash over him. He reached for Jasper's hand, their fingers intertwining naturally. "I'm really glad you came into my life." "Me too," Jasper said, his voice low and sincere. "I'm excited to see where this takes us." In that moment, with the river shimmering in the fading light, Elliot knew they were embarking on a new journey, one filled with uncertainty, excitement, and endless possibilities. Together, they were ready to navigate the beauty of their connection, hand in hand, embracing the messiness of life and love. As they walked along the water, Elliot felt a sense of peace settle within him. This was just the beginning of their adventure, a journey that promised to be as colorful and vibrant as the art they had created together. And for the first time in a long time, he felt truly alive.